Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. You're watching my review of SMWS G15.23. I'm Toby and you're watching Whisky Shared. Welcome to my review of SMWS G15.23. SMWS is the Single Malt Whisky Society and they're an independent bottler. This particular whisky is from the Loch Lomond distillery and it's a single grain whisky. It's 100% malted barley, but it's made in a column still, so therefore it's single grain. This particular whisky is 8 years old. It's 60.6% ABV, it's natural colour and non-chill filtered, and it retails for £50.50. Should we find out what it tastes like? On to the whisky. So before I start nosing and tasting, let's have a quick look at the colour. I'd say it's like a white wine. This particular whisky has been aged in first fill ex-bourbon, so I wouldn't expect very strong colour at 8 years old, but it's yeah, it's definitely got some colour indeed. Let's start with the nose. Right, so the first thing I get with this is like a mustiness, like musty dry wood. There's some sweet cherry in there. I'm getting something reminiscent of boiled sweets. I'm getting like toffee apples and some corn syrup. There's also some coconut. I'm getting an unusual note for me, which is like PVA glue. And there's also some like new pencils in there as well. Let's move on to the palate. Yeah, so the first thing I get with this is like slightly drying green apple skins. There's a slight sort of tannic nature to those sort of bitter skins, but it's definitely fresh and fruity. But it's 60.6%, so there's definitely some heat. It's quite sprightly and it's quite hot, but obviously this is a single cask. It's one of 213 bottles, so you know, the fact it's presented as it came out of the cask, it's not going to be to everybody's taste, and it gives you that ability to water it down to exactly as you want. I think for me, I've tried this off camera and I think it definitely requires a splash of water to get it to that sweet spot. Let's have another sip. Yeah, there's definitely some heat with this. There's some chili pepper. There's also some cloves that I'm picking up. There definitely is a spicy note indeed. But there's a sweetness with this. I'm getting like vanilla cream soda, which is quite nice. There's a little bit of cereal. I'm getting like oats. But there's also a slightly sort of dry wood note. I'm getting like pencil cases. You know, when you open a pencil case when you're a kid and you get that sort of waft of pencil wood coming out of the pencil case. But there's also a slight nuttiness that goes with that sort of woodiness, which is quite nice. Let's have one final sip though. Yeah, along with the notes I've already described, I'm not picking up much more, but there is a slight floral note that goes along with this. It's definitely quite fresh, but Although this is quite simple, there's not many notes coming out of me. They are quite strong, they are quite bold, and yeah, this whiskey definitely packs a punch. In terms of finish, I'd say it's quite long. I'm getting that dry wood, I'm getting the apples, I'm getting some vanilla, and I'm definitely getting the spiciness of the pepper. But it's definitely a whiskey that lingers on the palate for some time. In terms of value, well, as I said, this is £50, $50 in the UK. As far as I'm aware, this is sold out, and it has the name of Tuck Shop Treats in an Old School Desk. So I think that's quite a good name based on the things I've described. But I think £50 and 50p, so let's say £50 in the UK for an 8-year-old Loch Lomond column distilled 100% malted barley in a first fill ex bourbon. I think that's not too bad. Obviously, Loch Lomond themselves do whiskies that are 100% column distilled with malted barley, and I think they're one of the leaders in this field. So I think maybe when this was first picked, I think this was, from memory, it was distilled in 2013. I think this was probably, you know, fairly unusual. But what Loch Lomond are doing now, definitely they've got single grain whiskies which are like this at a lower strength, which are mainstream. I think this is less unique than it was when it was probably distilled. Now it's actually in the market, but I think it's always good. I think other than distillery editions, I think you won't get high proof Loch Lomond's that are columns distilled like this. So I think this is really good. Obviously you can get it to that sweet spot because nobody wants a 40 or 43% single grain whiskey. So the fact that you've got all of that flexibility to get this to where you want it means, you know, it's quite an interesting whiskey. There's not many flavours going on, but they are bold, they are punchy, and yeah, I think it's quite good. I think £50 is about right. I think if it was more than that, I think I'd leave it alone. But if you tried this whiskey for any reason, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you tried something similar from Loch Lomond, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if there's another Loch Lomond or a column distilled whiskey that you think I should try, then also let me know and I'll see what I can do. Hopefully you found that interesting, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Sauncher. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.